Alright guys, so today we are going to be making slime. And why are we including slime into our Grossology? Well, slime is actually used for a lot of things. So scientists are actually exploring different ways slime is used, especially slug slime. One of the most interesting things about that is that slug slime is natural and non-toxic and makes an adhesive. Another cool slug slime fact is that it's also classified as liquid crystal. Liquid crystal is matter, and that is a very simple definition that means its chemical properties of a crystal solid and a liquid. It has to do with the molecule's organization, the crystal side, but its ability to still flow like a liquid. The phrase liquid crystal can make this sound pretty rare and mysterious, but you actually encounter liquid crystal every time you sneeze. The mucus, or snot if you prefer, that comes out of your nose or mouth are classified as such. Without diluted borax and glue, you already naturally make your own slime. Oysters, a sort of clam mussel-like animal, actually uses mucus on their gills to help remove detritus, to move plankton to their mouth, and help to remove pseudofeces. Frogs and salamanders have a mucus coating that helps to keep them moist and helps to move oxygen across their skin. Often this coating will taste foul, which is meant to deter potential predators. Moon snails, which is an aquatic snail, make a mucus mixture that is extruded with their eggs, which then is released into a wavy looking collar. Earthworms and other worms are also often covered in mucus, and that is meant to help them be able to move through soil and helps with oxygen diffusion. They also release mucus cocoons with their eggs. Hagfish, which is an eel-like creature, can secrete up to 5.5 gallons of mucus. They use that as a means of defense against their predators because it makes them very slippery. Parrotfish, they also will secrete a slimy sleeping bag around themselves to help protect them from parasites while they are sleeping. Corals also secrete a layer of mucus around each tiny animal that then help make up the larger coral colony. This mucus protects the animals from sediment and debris. When it becomes too full, the mucus is then shed. Australian water-holding frog burrows deep into the mud, making a cocoon filled with slimy water, and then they will actually sleep through the winter or even drought up to many years. Velvet worms are also a really cool one we like to talk about because they actually secrete a sticky, hardening mucus slime that they will then use to ensnare their prey. Alright guys, so to make our slime, now that we've learned a little bit more about it, some things we're going to need. We're going to need a bowl. I'm using this glass one, any bowl will do. We're going to need a cup measure, a half a cup measure, and a tablespoon and some teaspoon measures. We're going to need a spoon or something to stir with. We're going to need glue, shaving cream, baking soda, saline solution, food coloring, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of our glitter here to help represent those crystals we talked about. The first thing we want to do is we want to take up our shaving cream and we want to shake it up really well. We're going to use about a half a cup of this, so about 4 cups. So I got my cup measure, and we're going to measure out a nice even cup of shaving cream, but we need 4 of those. So 1, 2, you may have to use your spoon here to help break it out. 3 and 4. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our glue and we're going to measure out a half a cup of it. And then we're going to pour it straight on top of our shaving cream, but we're not going to mix it in. We're just going to pour it straight on top. Make sure we get a nice level half cup full and pour it straight on top of our shaving cream. And again, we'll probably have to take our spoon and rake some of it out. Alright, the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a half of a teaspoon of our baking soda. Again, don't mix it in just yet, just put a half a teaspoon in there. Now, you can use whatever color food coloring you want. We're going to use green since we're talking about slime and mucus. We're going to make it a little bit green color. So put anywhere between 5 and 6 drops in there. Last thing we're going to add is our saline solution. For that, we're going to need a tablespoon measure. We might have to add a little bit more, but we want to start with a tablespoon. So go ahead and squeeze in a tablespoon of this. All right. And once that's in, we're probably going to get our hands a little bit messy in a minute, so make sure you are ready to do that. Try not to get it on our parents' countertop or anything. And we're going to start mixing our slime. All right, once you mix it for about 20 to 30 seconds or so, we're going to go ahead and add in our nice, lovely glitter sparkles here. You can add as much as little, or if you don't want to add any, that's fine too. Add what you would like. And we're going to keep mixing until we get all this mixed in really well. See it start to get kind of stringy in there, but we want to get it even more sticky than that. We want it to where it'll come out of this bowl easily. Mine isn't quite green enough yet either, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more food dye and some more sparkles in mine here. And we're going to mix some more. All right, mine's still a little sticky, so I'm going to go ahead and add in some more of our saline solution. Still just a little bit, so we're going to add just a little bit more of our saline solution in, so it's not sticky anymore. Alright, and as you get it close to done, and you can be able to take it out and mix it with hand a little bit. So now that we've got it all mixed in, you can see that our slime is nice and sticky. So it's covering us, and you can take your hand out a little bit. You can see I have some left over. So just like mucus does for a lot of those animals we have looked at, you were able to see that our slime is helping to protect our hands just like it would many of the animals. So it is still going to be sticky. Make sure we don't stick it to any of our parents' furniture or our clothes. Once you're done, you can put it in a Ziploc bag or a container for a few days, but after that you're going to want to throw it out because it'll start to dry out some. But this is an easy thing we can make over and over again, and always think about those animals that we talked about and how their mucus helps to protect them or help them to sleep or help them even to have more babies later on. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed. Thanks. So for our next activity, we actually are going to challenge you guys to help us out a little bit. So some things that we're going to need is a bag, a Ziploc bag. Make sure it's a good Ziploc. We need water, cornstarch, and a measuring cup, okay? You also are gonna need an egg. We don't have an egg, but this is where we're gonna need your guys' help, okay? So first thing, we're gonna open our bag. And then we're going to measure out 2 cups of our cornstarch. So I've got a half cup measure, so I'm gonna have to do this 4 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, and we're going to measure out our 4th one. All right, once we have that measured out, we'll shake it down in our bag, and then we're going to measure out 1 cup of water. All right, so again, I'm going to have to measure 2 because I got half cups, so there's 1. And 2. And then we're going to add in about 4 or 5 drops of any color food coloring that we want, or you can leave it white, but we like pretty colors. So we are going to make ours purple. All right, and once you got that in there, what we're going to do, we're going to seal our bag really well, and we are going to mix. You may have to add just a little bit more water, but we're going to mix it all in. All right, guys, so we're going to keep mixing until we get all of that powder mixed in. You may even have to take your hand and put in there some. It's going to get messy, but that's the fun of Grossology, right? So we're going to mix until all of our powder is mixed in really well. Like I said, if you have to add a little bit more water because your powder's not mixing in, add very small amounts at a time. All right, and how do we know when it's mixed all the way? Well, we are making what we call a non-Newtonian substance. And what that is something that when you press on it, it feels solid. But you can actually poke on it or pick it up, and it's going to be runny. But again, if we look real close, if I poke on it, it looks solid, right? It's not moving. But then when I pick up the bag, it moves. So we've got this mixed up. This is as far as we are going to do. What I need you guys to do is once you've got it mixed up and in your bag, you can mix 4 cups if you want to have a bigger bag full. I want you to take a raw egg and put in here. All right, guys, so once you have finished your mixture and you have made it to the lovely outdoors, what I want you to do with that raw egg in there, I want you to make sure it's sealed really, really well. So make sure it's sealed up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a science experiment. So with it sealed, I want you to start by kind of dropping it from around your waist height. So just drop the bag. Open it up and see if the egg has cracked. If not, move up a little bit higher, maybe your shoulder or maybe your chest. Drop it again. Then, if it's still okay, what I want you to do is if you've got a porch or maybe a small ladder, make sure we use our parents' help if we're using a ladder or anything like that. I want you to drop it from an even bigger height. Once you've tried your banister or your steps or whatever you may have, then I want you to get a taller adult's help. A parent, a big brother, big sister, grandparent, aunt, uncle, whatever you have around you. I want you to get somebody taller than you and try maybe at their head or their chest and see what happens from that height. And then maybe try a ladder or other things that you have around your house. I want you to video these to me and show me what you guys did. Tell me your experience. How high could you go without the egg dropping? And then maybe try throwing it a distance. Can we throw it a ways without the egg dropping? Can we just throw it really high up in the air and the egg not drop and break? So I want you guys to try a whole bunch of different ways to move that egg around in our substance, and I want you guys to send me videos and comments and reports and tell me how well your science experiment worked. I hope you've had a blast, and I can't wait to see your guys' videos. Thanks!